The multiplayer shooter space is pretty stale, with the popular games right now being either games that have been out for a long time or a yearly release with little difference between sequels. So I think people are pretty attracted to the idea of a new FPS coming out. I certainly am. I'm very bored of the current games. And the XDefiant beta came out and was disappointing. So I'm pinning all my hopes on the finals being the relief for all my multiplayer FPS needs. Does the game live up to that? Well, the game is really fun when everything goes right. Then it's important to ask, what is the good and the bad about the finals? Hope you enjoy the video or find it informative, and subscribe if you did. Let's start with a brief overview of the game so that we can then go into the goods and the bads. There are 3 builds you can pick when you play the game: light, medium and heavy. Light is fast with little health, heavy is slow with much health, and medium is in between. They also have different gadgets and abilities, with a medium being the only build that doesn't have a tool to destroy buildings. But heavy is the only one lacking a good movement ability. Each of these builds have their role in a 3-person team, like the medium being the support because he can heal people, light is the DPS and heavy the tank, both because of his health and his ability to destroy buildings. And their gadgets are focused around these things. Let's move on to the game modes now. Cash out. A vault will spawn on the map that you have to unlock and then pick up the money in it and take it to a cash out station, and defend it until it finishes. It's your team of 3 versus 2 other teams. So throughout the whole process things can get very chaotic as the other teams try to steal the cash out. Get 2 cash outs and you win. Bank it. You collect money to deposit into cash out stations. You get money by killing enemies and opening vaults. Now you are carrying that money, and if you die you drop everything. And enemies can pick it up. There's 4 teams of 3. It's very chaotic. Get 40,000 money and you win. Tournaments. This is the hype mode. This is why people would get invested in this game. It's 3 rounds of games, with the first round being 2 games played simultaneously, with 4 teams in each game. In these games, it's kinda like cash out, except you also get money for killing people, and you lose money when you die. And there is a limited amount of respawn tokens, so I would assume a team could get eliminated from dying too much, but I didn't see that happen. And the 2 teams with the least money get eliminated. Then round 2 is the same thing with the winners of round 1, until the finals, trademarked, where the 2 top teams of the last game face each other to win the tournament. And that's roughly the broad strokes. The whole time you are of course shooting enemies or using gas mines, grenades, jump padding or grappling to the tops of buildings, or just breaking the whole building down. I don't know, just go crazy. If you can see a building, you can probably destroy it. There are some that you can't destroy. The good and the bad. Building destruction is really fun, and it's why I love playing the heavy. The charge ability where you run through a building and destroy everything in your path is so satisfying. And it can kill enemies too, so it's doubly useful. But destroying the support structure of a building and watching it collapse, it's just such a joy to see. And it's a great tactical tool. Like if enemies are hiding in a building, then you can just blow a hole in the building. Or if there is gas on an objective, just go to the floor below and blow up the floor beneath the objective, or bring the building down. Builds are unique and useful in their own way. They do share some gadgets, but that's mostly just grenades. So it's a good game if you want to feel like you have an important role to play in a team. Or you could just get a job in real life and feel that. So team play is really important here, and if your team is actually sticking together and fulfilling their roles, it feels really good and fun. But if they aren't, it feels really bad and frustrating, because you just get pounded into the dirt and it makes you want to cyberbully your teammate that's on the other side of the map. I guess that's why this game doesn't have a chat feature, which by the way I hate. It's a really useful tool to communicate with my team. Why don't you have that? So this game can be very frustrating solo because you can't do enough on your own, but probably very good with a group of friends. Too bad for me because my friends have a phobia of trying something new or different. So if you don't play the game the right way, it's kinda not fun. The time to kill in the game is higher than other games. I feel like it always takes a full clip from every gun to kill someone. So with it being higher than other games means you won't just die instantly without knowing what's going on, and campers will have a harder time. But it makes 2v1 situations almost impossible, and makes you rely far more on your teammates being with you. The time to kill and heavy reliance on your team is extra punishing if you're one teammate short, because you spend far more time waiting to respawn. It happened often in the beta that you're missing a person from your team, and people leave the game a lot, and when that happens I never get new teammates. So I'm left to stew in misery or also leave and forfeit the rewards from the match. If you start the match missing a teammate, then just leave and try again. A lot of it might be players disconnecting. They really need a join a match in progress thing. There are already cheats in the game, and that just sucks. And a lot of the cheaters are from China. Region lock China. They disconnect a lot and they cheat. It's a technical issue, a networking issue. It's not inclusive to keep them in the same region. It's just annoying for everyone else. It's not xenophobic to point out that China should be in its own region because they cause connectivity issues in other regions. And they cheat. I always have a bad time in Bankit, but a good one in Quick Cash. Maybe it's due to the amount of teams, like because there are so many more players in Bankit, it's a lot harder to do objectives. I don't know, but I think there's a reason they use Quick Cash for tournaments and not Bankit. You only have one gun and 3 gadgets. This took a little while for me to get used to, because in every other game you have 2 guns, and it kinda forced me to pick safe guns. Like I don't use the grenade launcher because in an open space it's pretty useless, but really good in buildings. So I'm not using some fun weapons because they're mainly good like half the time. You have to think really hard about what you want to take with you. Personally, the hardest choice is between the defibrillator and the sonar grenade. But actually I threw away the defibrillator and instead took the gas mine. It is just way too useful. You place a mine on an objective and enemies can't steal it because the mine will activate and spew poison gas that will kill them before they can steal it. So thinking about your equipment is a big part of the game. Again, just to highlight it further. In the beta I was very often put into teams that was missing a player, or I was just alone. And because team play is so important in this game, playing on a team that isn't full is a miserable experience. It's probably just disconnects, maybe bad matchmaking, I don't know, but they really need to fix this. And I think gun balancing could use some work, since some guns just felt kinda bad. And I could not get anything done with the sledgehammer, and the melee move you always have sucks. As someone who has played a lot of Apex Legends, the movement is a definite downgrade. It feels far slower and clunkier than it is there, and I often felt I needed faster and more versatile movement. It felt a little limited to me. And I would like it if you could change the size of your crosshair and add text chat, since no one in Europe uses voice comms. Also, I would talk about the progression system, but I feel like that will probably change before release. They were pretty generous in the beta, and I assume they will be much more stingy on release. Here's a few good points. I liked the music. That's a very subjective point, but I liked it. I think those announcers in the matches are great flavor. The game looks good, and the explosive fire, smoke, gas and goo barrels in the match are great, because then you can use all those things even if you don't have a gadget for it, if you're lucky enough to find a barrel close by. Conclusion. This is a bad solo game, but a great team game. The most unique element here is the building destruction. It's very good and intuitive. If you want to bring a building down, then you're likely to get it on your first try. You'll probably have to wait for cooldowns a lot though. I was expecting building destruction to happen more, but that would probably be way too chaotic. The heavy reliance on the team is definitely a turn-off for me. As you get older, it's harder to get the boys together for a gaming session, and I have a job, university, and do YouTube as a hobby. So it's also tough for me to align myself with someone else's schedule. So solo play often being a miserable experience makes this a tough recommend, if you don't have a group of friends that are ready to play the game with you. For the reasons mentioned earlier, I played the beta solo, and I did have a lot of fun when things were going right, like the team actually worked together. But it was miserable when the team was short a member or just going off and doing their own thing. The game is built to reward team play and to punish solo play. You can see that in the time to kill and the builds needing the other builds to round off their weaknesses. You can probably find some people to play with on community Discord servers or something, which I might do on release because I've already had enough of playing the game solo. The game is enjoyable and has a lot of potential, but they need to address the issues and region lock China. If the game releases in a similar state, then I will drop off quickly. I finally finished midterms exams and it's 3 weeks until the finals trademarked exams. So I'ma try to grind out some videos before that. The finals TM exams will put me out of commission for like 2 weeks. University is not fun. Anyway, like, subscribe and have a conflicting day. That's a blow to the socialites. Team white.